Before I jump into the purpose of this video, which is going to be plaque buildup in your arteries, I wanted to mention this real quick. A lot of people out there are told that if you overeat on red meat, that the increase in cholesterol will inevitably lead to plaque buildup and then cardiovascular health issues. Now, it's important to understand that as you research a little bit into this, you start to understand that cholesterol itself isn't the problem, and having a lot of cholesterol isn't necessarily a problem. Now, it is a problem if you live a super high inflammation lifestyle, which is about 70% of the United States. What points towards that is that 70% of the United States of America is either overweight or obese, which directly plays into higher inflammation. Not only is weight a problem, but let's jump into diet. So diet plays into weight, but what are we eating? Super high sugar foods that will boost your inflammation. We also eat restaurant foods that are processed and also in seed oils that have been oxidized or that are used over and over and over, and therefore are more inflammatory when you consume them. Now, on top of this, tying into what we do, circadian alignment. If you're not circadianly aligned and you're not getting regular sun exposure and your sleep is not dialed, you will be more inflamed. If you are someone who is circadianly aligned, you get good sleep, you eat well, you don't eat too much sugar, you get regular sun exposure. If you live a lifestyle like that, you will experience way less inflammation. Therefore, having high cholesterol is not necessarily a problem. Now, linking this problem into sun relation, a quick thing on how cholesterol works. LDL cholesterol, which is what they call bad cholesterol, is the carrier that takes cholesterol into your cells. Cholesterol is necessary. If you didn't have cholesterol, you would not be here. Now, if you live a high inflammation lifestyle, that carrier can get oxidized, and what happens is it becomes sticky and it can get stuck in the walls of your arteries. If you do not live a high inflammation lifestyle, the chances of that happening drastically decrease, and you actually have protective mechanisms that prevent that from happening in the first place. So you could have high cholesterol and still not have problems with your arteries or any type of plaque buildup. Now, here's where light plays into this. UV light specifically is able to boost regulatory T cells that actually prevent your body from going into a state of too much inflammation. So by getting UV light consistently, your body is able to pretty much regulate itself into not getting too inflamed. So it'll receive a healthy amount of inflammation, which is a good stimulus, just like working out your muscle and getting it inflamed is a good stimulus. If you overdo it and inflame it too much, then you injure the muscle. But by doing it responsibly and getting a safe amount of UV exposure for your skin type in your climate, you are now telling your body and giving your body a signal to not overdo it to the point of disaster and harm. This is why it's so important that you're getting regular sun exposure, and then on top of this, applying everything we talk about, full circadian alignment.